Hi, everyone. This is Mark Wallace in the religion department at Swarthmore College, and I'm very happy to be here to talk about my own way of coping in the midst of the COVID-19 crisis. This is a difficult time, and it's a time when many of us are sheltering at home, but experiencing extraordinary loss and fear and anxiety in the midst of the pandemic. My young adult children have lost their jobs. My brother-in-law is on the front lines of treating people with COVID-19 at a hospital here in Philadelphia. And students of mine who are not part of the college's meal plan are now becoming food insecure. And myself and others, we've been working on that. In the midst of the pandemic, it's important to find ways to cope and even find maybe inklings of joy and hope in the midst of the anxiety. And for me, and this is what I wanted to talk about just for a couple of minutes, the ritual process by which I find some hope and purpose and even joy at times has to do with going into the nearby Crum woods. Swarthmore College is blessed with being the caretaker of a large 200-acre forest, the fragment of what was once a much larger area. And in the forest, I think of it as an instance of what you might call, using a Latin phrase, terra ludens, being at play in the natural world. Nature itself as a kind of playground. And that may sound kind of flippant and callous at a time when we're suffering from the impacts of the pandemic. But by that I mean, could there be a place like the Crum Woods where one could go for spiritual and emotional refreshment? Let me give some examples of the sort of spirituality of the woods that I've encountered recently. There was a big rainstorm here a couple of days ago, and my wife Audrey and I darted out into the woods after the storm. The sun came up and it got warm, and as we went down to the creek, we watched a giant beaver. I mean, I don't know, it was a good 2, 3, maybe 4 feet long, swimming upstream against the current, flapping its tail behind it. I don't know if the beaver was trying to signal to us, if the beaver was pissed off at us, if the beaver was happy to see us and acknowledging our presence, but it was quite something to see this wonderful creature make its way up the creek with a ferocious sense of commitment and industry. It's been fun as well to see trees start to blossom, dogwood trees, cherry trees, both in the Crum and on the campus. This is the time of the lilacs, and these beautiful purple flowers are coming out as well. Throughout the Crum Woods, there are what are called ephemerals, spring flowers that are just starting to appear. My favorite are the white and red trillium. And there are all kinds of magical birds flying through the Crum now. Migratory birds on the one hand, and birds that are regular residents here. Northern flickers, blue-gray gnatcatchers, a spectacular woodpecker that I often watch building its nest in the Crum Woods, called the pileated woodpecker. Bald eagles have been flying over the surface of the creek. It's quite an amazing time. I just say this by way of saying that as we go through a very difficult time, and as we experience depression and suffering and loss, a way to address what someone calls our nature deficit disorder, and a way to experience perhaps emotional and spiritual renewal, is to find a sacred place, a place where life is forthcoming and people and other beings are encouraged, and a place that is a sort of medium a sort of theater or arena for refreshment, enjoyment, play, magic, surprise, um, and encounters with beings other than ourselves, plants, animals, that give us a sense of a wider context to our lives than the focus on COVID-19, which understandably is preoccupying to all of us. I hope this is helpful. Be safe and be well. Bye for now.